The girl, you want this parking space. Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We're having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. Need a sticky note. My name is Yamicha Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys are ready to get this morning started. It's going to be an amazing day. It's going to be a great day. What's the day? It's Fearless Friday, Freedom Friday. What other Friday is there, Rosie?
Fearless Friday.
I said that already. Freedom, Fearless Friday. I don't know. It's going to be Fashion Friday. It's going to be an amazing day. So we are, okay, girl. We are going to have an amazing Friday. Thank you guys so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show. Thank you so much for sharing the show. I greatly appreciate you. I couldn't get that word out, could I? I greatly appreciate you for sharing the show and encouraging others to come and to be here with us as we go down this journey of being fearless. It's not a space keeper, it's a space giver. Yesterday we need some Vaseline or something.
I know, I have it in my bag.
Okay. Rosie gave me a good word yesterday. She said, I am a space giver. That means what we're all looking for every day is for somebody to tell us it's okay to chase our dreams and live our dreams and to be true to who we are. And I'm giving you that safe space to do that today. So if you want to be that singer, that dancer, that artist, give me the bookmark, then by all means, I am your space giver. I'm giving you the space. I am your safety net, your safe place where you can come and you can do that. And you don't have to worry about it. So, but I'm talking about right here, like you need. It's dry all over there on the other side. Teenagers. Just saying. So I'm your space giver. Please make sure that you share the video, guys. Hopefully I'm prayerfully saying something that is helping somebody today, or I've said something in the past year and a half that is helping you get to where you need to be, or at least giving you a thought process different than the one that you currently have, because that is important. That is essential on this journey, that you think differently than what you are already thinking, because what we're already thinking apparently doesn't work, right, Rosemont? It doesn't work. So the fearless thought for today, and I got to turn the light back on. I have to read this. Oh, because it was shining on. Yes. It's just that sentence, Rosie. Good morning, Lynn. Rosie wants to read that part.
Well, she made me read it earlier, so I might as well.
Hey, I made her read it earlier. So, and this stuck with me. I made Rosie read it how many times?
Like 6.
I made her read it like 6 times, because this is what I talked about yesterday, and I love words, and she just let Rosie read it.
If the story of her life continued to be told that way, her oppression would dominate and overshadow her power.
So we're talking about in this book, this grandmother who is a healer in Africa, and she is a birthing mother there. And so the lady is saying, if she would have allowed other people to tell her grandmother's story, they would have said that she was a poor African who lived in a hut, who was uneducated. But because she can tell her story, she doesn't lose her power. And so it says, if the story of her life continued to be told the way her oppression, told that way, her oppression would dominate and overshadow her power. And it made me think, how many of us are allowing the crazy of our life, the what other people told us we were going to be, what other people said about us, dominate us, and take away our power to tell a new story. I think on Tuesday, I talked about the power of storytelling and telling your story, and nobody can tell it but you. But if you don't tell it, somebody else is going to tell your story the way they want you to be represented and not the way you want to be represented. And so you should tell your own story because it is your truth. Good morning. So today, on this Fearless Friday, Freedom Friday, are you allowing the crazy, what everybody else has told you about you, take away your power? She said her oppression would dominate and overshadow her power. Are we allowing that? Do we allow that every day? Like, do we allow that at our jobs every day? For people to take... For people to take away our power, for people to...
I'm so mad. Don't unlock the door.
You came walking up here with such purpose. She's going to beat you up.
I was kind of mad. Okay, bye.
All right, have a good day. So think about that today, guys. Be peaceful.
Oh, you shocked me.
Oh, sorry.
That's me.
Think about that today, guys. How many of us allow Melody, have a great day?
You too.
How many
Like
of
she wasn't just mean to me.
Right. How many of us are allowing other people to tell our story and then it taking away all of our power? And that, my friends, is why we get mad and angry about our situation and where we are, and we get mad at other people. Is because we have given them the power and we don't realize that we have. We just assume that's the way things have always been. That's the way I've always lived here because my mama lived here, and this is the work my mama did, and this is how I've always dealt with my crazy. And in the midst of all of that, you have given your power away, and it has oppressed you so that you get angry and mad at everybody else, and you're not sure why you're angry and mad. Well, I'm just frustrated because, them people got on my nerves today, and they aggravated me today. No, they took away your power to speak true to who you are, and so now you're mad because you can't figure out, how do I get my power back, and why am I being less than? Because I'm so much more, but I'm accepting this, but I don't know how to step out of it. And so I'm going to be angry, mad, and frustrated. And it's a whole ugly turmoil of a story. And if you didn't watch the show on Tuesday, please go back. I talk about telling the story of who you are, retelling it. Because if you don't, I realize that if I did not leave my abusive husband, the story he was going to tell my children was going to be far different than the real story of JoJo. And until I got angry about that and wanted to tell my own truth and my own story and took my power back, that's what was going to happen. My crazy was going to continue. And I will say this until forever. We know this. It ain't, what I'm saying is nothing nobody has never ever heard. I'm just telling you from my point of view, from my confession and conversation. It is simply, we have got to recognize what is pushing us away from who we truly are and being willing to do the work to get back to who we are. Period. And until we're willing to do that, it's going to be crazy. And here's a paragraph that I underlined. I call it my sister's keeper. She call it sacred sisters. Sisters, it's about taking responsibility for who we are, engaging our hearts and our minds in creative storytelling that builds the very core of ourselves to our fullest potential to speak to our future self the once painful aspects from which we have healed. And when you write your story, and when you tell your story different, it is a healing process. When you tell your truth, it is a healing process. But my sisters, you've got to be willing to face the fact that it's crazy, that it's not right, that this is not who or what you're supposed to be. Until we're willing to face that and do the work of it, then, like she says, What other people are saying about you will oppress you and take away your power. And you will be angry and you will be mad and you will be frustrated for absolutely. And it's for a great reason. But you don't know that that is the reason. And so you're going to be angry and you're going to be frustrated because somebody else's story of you has oppressed you and you're not living true to who you are. It has overshadowed your power. Period. And when are we going to be angry enough to want to take our power back? When are we going to be angry enough to say, hey, that is what you're saying about me is not true. And I'll be darned if I'm going to continue to let you tell a story about me that's not true. And I had to get to that point. I had to get to that point not only to leave my abusive husband, I had to get to that point with my friends, because my friends will tell you a story about me and I'll laugh and giggle and I'll be like, but that's not me. That's who you think I am, but that's not truly who I am. And so until we take back our power and realize that you have it and that you're smart, far stronger, far smarter than you could ever imagine, until you realize the strength that you have in yourself, somebody is always going to retell your story the way they want you to be. They're always going to present you the way they want you instead of presenting you the way that you are. Don't allow anybody else to tell your story or to tell your version of the truth. You know the truth. You know who you are, why you are, and whose you are. Don't let somebody else overshadow you and oppress you and take away your power. And that is how the cycle of crazy absolutely continues. And that's where it is. Every day. And so until we get to the point where we get angry and we get mad and we get frustrated about it, it's going to continue. And it's continuing because you may say, Jojo, I don't really know what my story is about myself, because if you like, and you don't even have to be like me. My abuser told me my story, even though it wasn't my story when I met him. He made it my story after we met. And so I began to believe his words. You're ugly, you're stupid, you're nobody. I began to believe that you're fat. You're never going to lose any weight. Nobody's ever going to love you like I love you. I began to believe his version of me, his story of me, until I got angry and got bound and determined to tell my own story, even with shaking knees, even with the throwing up, the sweaty underarms, about to pass out, angry, mad, until I was willing to face all of that and keep going anyway. The oppression of his story was taking away my power. And the minute I said no, I'm not living true to your story anymore. I'm going to live true to mine. My power started to come back. And it is the accumulation of all the small steps that's going to make your transition to freedom even more greater. I promise. It's the small things that you do. It's the small steps that you take that you may think, I can't even see a difference, JoJo. I promise you it's coming. It is the accumulation of the small things that make the big steps worthy, that make you see that you are transitioning to freedom, and that you don't have to live in crazy, because there is life after crazy. I promise you. And I'm reading this paragraph one more time and I'm going to close out the show, because this paragraph just spoke to me again. Sisters, it's about taking responsibility for who we are, engaging our minds and our hearts in creativity and storytelling that builds the very core of ourselves to our fullest potential, and to speak to our future selves the once painful aspect from which we've healed. And that simply means once you retell your story to your truth and you take back your power, then you are healing yourself. Then you can create. Then you can change your family, your community, and you will #change the world, because you're no longer speaking from a place of pain. You're speaking from a place of healing. Today, take your story back. Don't let somebody else's version of you dictate what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and how you're going to live. They don't deserve that, and why would you give it to them freely? Because here's what I know. They've already told you a lot of things that are not true. When are we going to get angry enough to tell them the truth about us? Because we deserve it. I'm just saying. Guys, please make sure you share the video. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel where you can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there by topic and by title. If you go to YouTube and simply type in Fearless Morning Show, we will pop up, and there's over close to 400 shows over there now. So you can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows that you want and share them with your friends and your family. Don't forget, we do have I Am My Sister's Keeper t-shirts. I don't have one here with me available. So if you go to livepastcrazy.com, then you can grab your I Am My Sister's Keeper t-shirt. But today, guys, remind a sister or a brother to own your power. Don't allow somebody else's story of you, version of you, dictate your life. That's why we're angry and frustrated, because we feel the oppression. We feel the pushing down of what they say about us. And we assume, because we've been doing it so long, that we have to continue their version of our story, and we don't have to. I'm just saying, we don't have to. Please live true to who you are. And the minute you decide that you want to tell your story to your truth and not what somebody else said is true about you, then you start taking back your power. And it's the accumulation of all the small steps that make your transition to freedom. It's not one great big thing that's going to be like, ta-da, now you're past it. It is all the small steps that you take along the way that make the big difference. I promise you. Please make sure you share this video. I am your space giver, your seed planter. So space giver simply means that we all on this fearless journey want to know that we have a safe place to come, to dream, to think, to know it's okay to be brilliant, to know it's okay to be beautiful, to know it's okay to be smart, intelligent, to know all these things. And we're just looking for a safe place. We want to make sure that we have space to do it. So I'm your space giver. This is your safe place. Please continue to be amazing today on this Fearless Friday, Freedom Friday, whatever Friday you want to put on there. I am your space giver. This is your free space to be amazing. Retell your story today. Take back a little bit of your power. I promise it's going to be life-changing. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing Friday. I will see you here bright and early on Monday morning. Have a good one.